Howdy, hey, it's Presley, not that Presley, and welcome back to another video. Yes, I know I haven't posted in several months probably, and I've only posted like 3 videos to this channel, including this one. I've been really busy with work and school and trying to actually have a social life for once, and so I just haven't really had time to make YouTube videos. It's a huge process and I'm a perfectionist, so I haven't been making them. But now school, work, and my kind of social life are all gone. So here you go. I have time to make a video and I have something to make a video about. So as I hope all of you are aware, there is a virus going around and everyone is in social isolation for the foreseeable future. I don't know what that means, but all of my stuff is canceled at least until June, so I'm gonna be in my room for 3 months. So that's gonna be good fun. So I've been needing something to busy myself with. Online school is great because you get to choose your own schedule, but that's not good for someone with ADHD like me, because the schedule I choose is play Animal Crossing, even though you have a midterm due tomorrow that you haven't started. Just keep playing Animal Crossing. And so I've basically needed something busy, productive to do in my spare time, or else I just won't be productive ever. I'll only do my homework assignments for like 10 minutes and then just nothing else and slowly drive myself insane. And that's not exactly practical for a 3-month quarantine. So my dad sent me this Washington Post article, which was about the effects of social isolation and how it affects the spread of disease. And it had these really handy little graphics as part of the article, which I thought were really cute and did a really good job of explaining how social isolation worked. However, there were a few problems with it, I suppose. There were a few things that happen in real life that weren't really taken into account in the Washington Post. For one, people didn't die, and so that's kind of an important thing. That's why these are classified as such dangerous pandemics, because it is deadly to immunocompromised peoples and healthy people. There are a lot of healthy people who are dying. You're not safe just because you're not immunocompromised. So it's not deadly. As well as there was a 100% infection rate when these 2 dots touched. So basically anytime these 2 dots representing people touched each other, the disease would 100% infect the other person and spread. And that is completely inaccurate of almost every single pandemic. I hope there isn't a pandemic that's 100% infectious, because that would be terrifying. Those were the first things that I saw sort of going into this project that I embarked on. So my dad gave me a homework assignment to make a more accurate version of this graph, and so I took to Scratch. Yes, I know, I took to Scratch. Let me explain. So first of all, I know Scratch isn't the ideal programming language. It's not very complicated, but this project didn't need to be very complicated. It is an incredibly simple and rudimentary programming language that is geared towards learning programming. Yes, I know how to code in more complex languages, more adult languages, but I wanted my project to be public. I wanted the viewers to be able to interact with it and be able to input their own statistics, and Scratch is really good for that because you can publish anything you want. So I did it in Scratch. I also have upwards of 5 years of programming experience in Scratch, so, you know, it was the easiest option for me. Please don't bully me. So, without further ado, here's an introduction to my cooler version of the graph. Unfortunately, it does not look as crisp and nice because, you know, graphics are really hard with Scratch to make them look good. I can make them exist, I can't make it look perfect, and I'm sorry. So I'm going to go through the game and give you an overview of some of the stuff that I added. So the game opens with this little introduction and it lets you input the values that you want to use. Yes, again, very rudimentary. It uses Scratch's basic programming, ask a question, get input from the user feature. So the first thing you get to do is input how big you want your population to be. You were set to the default amount with the graphs in the article. So I added a quick thing that just lets you choose how many sprites you want to be in the game. Then you get to choose if you want to play with immunocompromisation or not. I really hope I'm saying that right. Since the original graphs had a 100% infection rate and there was no chance of dying, there was really no need to take immunocompromised populations into account. However, now that I have a variable infection rate as well as a chance of death, it is kind of important to take into account immunocompromised populations. The way I implemented this is every person per se has a randomly generated age between 1 and 85. If their age is over 65 or under 5, which are considered immunocompromised, then there is a higher chance that they will die after catching the disease. As well as 3.5% of healthy people will also have an immunocompromisation. This is a statistic I found online, so take it with a grain of salt, but apparently 3.5% of Americans are immunocompromised somehow. So I wanted to take that into account just for seeing how diseases spread and sort of making a point that immunocompromised populations are really, really important. Then there is social distancing. I will be showing you how it works with social distancing and without social distancing. The first time I will play with no social distancing, and I will explain how social distancing evolves the effect of the disease later on. Then you get to choose how contagious your virus is. So basically what this does is you input a number between 1 and 100, and that number will be the chance in percentage that your virus is passed on to the next person. So if 2 dots touch, then there is a blank % chance that the disease will pass to the other person. Then you get to choose how deadly your virus is. This is the % chance that after being infected by the disease, your person will die, basically. Then you get to choose how fast recovery from your virus is. This is seconds. You can go up to 60, I believe. And so just so that I don't bore you, I'm only going to be playing with 10 seconds. So when a dot is infected by the disease, it will wait 10 seconds because I inputted 10, and then it will decide whether you recover from the disease or you die. A little note on the movement of the dots. Basically, the dots don't move very far most of the time. There is a 20% chance that the dot will be able to go anywhere on the screen, and there is an 80% chance that the dot will stay within about 50 pixels of where it is, just to simulate more realistic movement in a small population. And then a really poor quality image of me on the set of Planet Cosmo will come in and tell you the statistics of your disease. Now I'm going to pull up the statistics of the coronavirus and show you both ways with statistics that are a little closer to the coronavirus. The reason that we're so freaked out about corona is that we actually don't know a lot about it, and so these statistics probably won't be very accurate in just a few days as we learn more about the effects, but this is what is on the internet at the time of filming this, the 26th of March 2020. I'm going to be running this at a population of 300, which is the maximum population, so I'm basically crossing my fingers and hoping that it works. Again, immunocompromisation is going to be on. The fun thing is we don't really know how contagious the coronavirus is. We most certainly don't have a percentage of how likely it is to spread. There is a possibility that it may infect 40 to 70% of the adult population, and the average person with coronavirus could spread to 2 to 3 other people that they come in contact with. So what to do with this information in this game, I am not entirely sure. I'm gonna put it at a good 20%, which is still a very high estimate, but again, it's for the sake of sharing information with the people, you know? So we don't really know the death percentage of the coronavirus. It's very different in different age groups, but on average it comes out to about 2.3 last I heard. This is still debatable and still being changed very rapidly, so I'm gonna put it at 2 and hope for the best. Recovery from the coronavirus is probably on average about 17 days, and so that's what I'm going to be putting in. Here we go. Wow, that's a lot of people, and wow, that is lagging my screen out a lot. As you can see, with no one social distancing, the virus is spreading very, very quickly. There's clearly a lot of gatherings with a lot of people going on since everyone is sort of clumping together. The peak concurrent infections rate is ridiculously high and is only getting higher. It is crazy. It seems to have averaged out at about 245 out of 300, which is a lot. Now people are rapidly getting better from the coronavirus. There have been 2 deaths in our 300 people population, and there may be a couple more before it wraps up that I am unsure of. And as you can see, a lot of people have not remained healthy throughout this epidemic that is vaguely similar to the coronavirus. Although this does sort of show how herd immunity works, since you can see there's a lot of healed people surrounding the non-infected people. The infection is a lot less likely to spread towards them. Alright, once that final little dot recovers from coronavirus, it will end. There you go. 2 people died, 294 recovered, and 4 remained healthy. It peaked at 245 out of 300 people being infected, which a hospital would definitely not be able to take and heal all of those people. Now I'm going to play it with social distancing on. here we go. So as you can see, since people are social distancing, it is a lot higher of a chance that it will spread to people who are distancing together. But it is infecting everyone a lot slower. And so at this time in the earlier simulation, practically the entire population was infected. And as you can see, it's still very serious since it is a very contagious disease and a very large population that seems to be isolating together. But the peak concurrent infections is almost 100 less than it was last time, which is incredible. And as you can see, people are recovering on their own a lot faster and not spreading it to a lot of other people before they recover, which is handy. And I believe people are dying a lot less since a lot less people have the disease. I'm just gonna wait for this to end. Just a couple more people need to be healed. Two, one. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Man, that person's... Come on. There we go. So as you can see, there was a huge change from last time. A lot less people were sick at once, which means hospitals would be a little bit better equipped to handle this, still not perfect, as well as a lot more people remained healthy and didn't catch the pandemic at all, which is why social distancing is important. Although it still spread a lot, which is why you have to be careful to wash your hands and make sure that you're not actively spreading the disease. If there were less infected people spreading it, then there would be a lot less cases of it. Again, this is an imperfect simulation. This is in no way exactly how viruses spread and exactly how the coronavirus worked, but I'd like to think that it is a little bit more accurate than the version on the Washington Post. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me. There will be a link in the description to where you can check this project out and try it out for yourself, and maybe I will be adding a few more things onto it in the coming couple of months, days, weeks, however long I will be in isolation. Thank you again for watching. Make sure to press the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye! Put my green lighting on. Ooh, spooky, spooky, right? Okay.